When I think about Anne, I think about her passion for life, right? Her sense of humor, her jabbing other people, all out of love and fun. She had such a heart for serving other people, particularly when it comes to mental health issues. And time after time, when I was on her show, she wanted to know what people can do to help themselves. And I hope that we'll all take that with us, that passion for life, that excitement, that sense of humor, and that sense of service to really help others.
I'm Anna Stewart. I played Anne's mother on Another World. The first time I saw Anne was from my living room in Los Angeles on the television screen in a bubble bath, because I'd taken a leave of absence from the show and I was returning, so they called me and said, take a look at her. And she was a pretty girl and she was doing good. And I said, I'll be able to work with her. But then when I met her, my heart exploded. I don't know how else to say it. We bonded instantly. We became like two teenage girls, giggling all the time. She was irrepressible, maddening, but lovable, always lovable. And the whole company took her under our collective wing to protect her. And I still have a black filmy blouse covered with little tiny satin buttons that she brought to me when I was in the hospital so I would feel sexy when my boyfriend came to see me. She also brought me a live Christmas tree that she put on my deck, covered it with cranberries and raisins and popcorn so I could watch the birds have fun with it when I came home from the hospital and recovered. I grieve her, but I choose not to focus on the loss, but to celebrate that extraordinary time that we spent together. And I know she's gone, but I feel her around me. So I know she's here.
What can I say? Anne Heche, we miss you. We love you. You will always be in our hearts. I had the pleasure and honor of working with Anne. I directed her in a picture that I wrote. And I remember meeting her the first time. What a firecracker. What a wonderful... What a wonderful this light just shining from her, and like so creative, so many wonderful ideas. She was an incredible mother, an incredible actress, a great friend. And today isn't a day to mourn, and it's a day to celebrate her, because that's what she would want. She would want us to sit there and smile and celebrate the incredible life that she had. So here I am, Anne, celebrating you. I love you.
I met Anne season 29 of Dancing with the Stars. And when I found out she was going to be on the season, I was secretly hoping we'd become best friends, because I always loved her. I was such a fan. Anne was a brilliant, brilliant actress. So we became friends. And it was exactly what I thought it would be. She was just magnetic, energetic, fabulous, gentle, kind, enthusiastic, loving, forgiving. Every time you said hi to her and she loved you, you saw that sparkle in her eyes. You saw how happy she was to see you. And what I take away from it is I want to be a little bit like her. I want to be more gentle. I want to be kinder. I want to be happier. I want to be more enthusiastic. I want to live unapologetically like she did. And I love her. And I miss her.
Anne came into my life, and she proved to me that you could change things. That you could change the way people loved one another. That you should be allowed to love who you want. And inspire me to look at the shame that ruled my life for such a long time. And that it didn't matter what anyone said about me. That I knew who I was. And that's all that matters.
In memory of Anne and the launch of her book, I want to say that the greatest thing she gave me when we were shooting together in Vancouver last year is unbridled enthusiasm about absolutely everything. She's a truth teller, vulnerable, and truly has unbridled enthusiasm for everything she does in life, from the work that she does, the friendships she has, the food that she eats, the celebrations she participates in, her motherhood, and all of that is what she left with me. So it was a great joy working with her, and I celebrate her book launch, and I know that people will really be moved by the work that she put into that.
To me, Anne was the most fun person that I've ever met in my life, and the most entertaining person, the most wild and free person. She wasn't like lighting up the room. She set the room on fire, ablaze. She was just the sweetest person. She was so little with so much energy. She was so big. In a room, she was so big. She would just take over. Wherever we went, she would take over. So I assume wherever she went without me, she would do the same thing. So I'll never forget her. And I'll always remember the good times and the bad times. We had some ridiculous things happen. That's what happens when you're, a shooting star. They don't make them like that. That's a rare person. I'm just so happy that I got to meet her and spend time with her, because magical people like that are, it's the most important experiences of my life is to realize that there's people out there that are that special. Makes me believe that anything's possible. Because she truly was fantastic. Such an awesome person. I love you, Anne.
My name is Gregory Arlt, and I'm a makeup artist. Not only am I a makeup artist, I had the great honor and privilege of being Anne's personal makeup artist for over 20 years, and also a dear friend. I remember the first time we met, I just was taken by her electricity and her light. She always allowed me to not only be an artist, but feel like an artist. Trusting the process, being collaborative. She wouldn't make a move without me in terms of doing a photo shoot or an event or a new idea that she might have had. I just really loved bouncing ideas off of each other and just sharing space with her. She was one of the kindest, most loyal, hilarious, brilliant women I have ever met, and I know that she is surrounded by love wherever she may be.
And I love you. I will love you for the rest of my life. I am so blessed to have had my life with you, any part of my life. For your children, I am here. I am here for our friends. And you, my darling, are a star amongst stars. I knew you'd love this hat, so I had to wear it for you. Because that was our relationship. I cannot believe that you've left us, but I do believe that your words, this book, everything that you've done in your life will come back and help so many people. So many will gain from the love you had and everything you've done for them. I cannot express how much I miss you every single day. How our friends miss you, your children, and I feel so happy that we're here to celebrate you tonight and who you are and everything you stood for, which was enough. You were always more than enough And whether they saw it or not, and for so many years they didn't, we knew. We know you are an angel. And I love you so much. And I miss you every single day.
Hi, my name is John Lakefelt, and I moved to Los Angeles in 2016 and was the very first client that I had the privilege of working with. And I say privilege because it was a privilege. Anne always pushed me to do my most courageous work and think outside the box and do the unexpected and push myself. And we, over the years, created some really killer hairstyles that were memorable, not just to us, but to the world. And I have her to thank for that. She always let me be an artist. She always trusted me, never second guessing me, and helping me all the time to push through anything that I might be fearful of. She was the most beautiful soul, and I am so thankful that I had the gift of Anne.
Hey, it's Alec Baldwin, and I just wanted to say that I worked with Anne twice. We worked on the film, The Juror, and we did the play, the Hector MacArthur play, The 20th Century on Broadway. Anne got nominated for a Tony. That was a wonderful bonus to that experience. And Anne was, of course, very bold and very adventurous when we worked together. There was a scene we did in The Juror. We had 2 scenes, and she had these ideas for the scene, and she would like lean in and whisper to me, like what she wanted to do. She'd go, and I would literally sit there and go, oh my God, that sounds so great. Oh God, let's do that. And she was brave, and she was funny, and she's so many things. But all that aside, all the anecdotes of working and so forth, is she was kind. She would reach out to me in tough times I've had or wonderful times I've had, and I would hear from her intermittently, and always, how are you? And nothing attached. There was nothing transactional about Anne's love. At least in my case, it was always just like, hey, I just wanted to check in with you and see how you're doing and send you my love and what have you. And someone as talented as her and someone as prolific as her, she was working, it seemed, all the time. To take a moment and to find out how I was doing was just so touching to me. I spoke to her just a couple weeks, maybe, or a month before she passed. And I think it was one of those phone calls like, how are you doing? Anyway, I'm sending all my love to her family and friends and colleagues who are going to see this. And I have only the most beautiful and R-rated remembrances of the great, great Anne Heche.
Thanks so much, everyone, for coming. This is it's such an incredible night. This would have meant the world to Anne, and I should be sitting in that front row, worried about what she was going to say up here, that she was going to say too much. And now I'm up here worried that I might not say enough. What can I say about Anne? I mean, she was an incredible human being who made the most of her time on this earth. She was somebody who lived her life with such joy and such kindness. She woke up every day incredibly optimistic, despite being somebody who had a lot of challenges in her life. And to have that optimism when you have challenges is something that is not easy to do. But she did it authentically, beautifully, every moment of her life. I think a lot of the younger people here don't all know the stand that she took back in the 90s for gender-free love. That stand that she took wasn't easy. It impacted her life in a lot of ways, but it changed the world. And it made us more understanding and more accepting, and made a world now where somebody can bring somebody of the same sex to a red carpet, and it's not even a blip on the radar. And that doesn't happen without the heavy lifting of somebody like Anne. And she should be recognized for that. And I think the world is starting to catch up with her and recognize that now. Anne was somebody who, gosh, she embraced you for you. She let you be exactly who you are. And she did that because she was so honest and lived with such honesty. And if you think about her life, even the story that I just said about her stand, she wanted everybody else to be honest in who they are. And it gave people the freedom to be that, and for people to explore their true selves. I mean, I'm a different person for having known her and having been around her. I'm more me than I would have been without her. And that's a big gift she gave to everybody she knew. But it's also a message that we should all take, you know, be you. When you're really you, there's more peace in the world. And when there's more peace in the world, there's more kindness in the world. And that's what Anne was. Just total and complete kindness. Oh. What else can I say about her? What I can say is this, and I'm going to read from her book and talk a little bit more. But, you know, Anne rewrote the script of her life many times. And I think that that's going to happen right now. I think that we're going to rewrite the script of her life. I'm going to rewrite the script of her life because she deserves the respect now that she didn't have when she was here. She deserves the respect as somebody who changed the world, literally changed the world. I know that sounds hyperbolic, but she did. She changed the way we look at the world. She impacted every single person who knew her and loved her. She showed us how to lead with kindness, how to lead with love, how to lead with honesty, how to embrace humans, and do it all while having fun. On the way here, we were talking with our friends that we were with before that Anne would always say that we were the party on the way to the party. We had just as much fun getting ready to go to the party, maybe more, than we even did at the party. And that just goes to show how Anne made fun out of anything and everything. She was a blast. And she's here with us tonight, and she's proud, and she loves everybody here and is so appreciative of all of you, of all of the people that have supported her from the beginning. She loved our Better Together tribe. They meant the world to her. She wrote this book in part for that tribe because she wanted people to live a better life and to find that happiness. For her, in her early years as a child, I think happiness was a little more elusive to her, so she appreciated it more. The same thing with kindness. And I think that that's a remarkable thing, to have somebody who didn't grow up with kindness available to them, yet it was the thing that they gave the most. And that was Anne. So, shall we read a little of Call Me Anne? Anne passed while this book wasn't quite finished, but it was almost finished. And so I just had to find ways to tie it up. And in doing that, she helped me a little bit along the way, because that was Anne. I've said this before, but I said once on a podcast, if you died, you'd really haunt me, wouldn't you? And she said, yeah, you definitely feel me. And I definitely feel her, and she definitely helped me. And in the beginning of this book, there's a little passage that you'll see and that I'm about to read, but what you don't know is that I found that passage after she passed, written on a notepad on my desk. And it was the perfect way to start the book. And it was incredible as I was sitting there at my desk, flipping through pages, trying to figure out what to say. I wasn't even looking for a message from her. I was looking for a clean piece of paper to write on. And I see this. I believe in life everlasting. I believe it is ours to choose. For all the rest of my time on this earth, I choose to live to the fullest of my potential. I wake each day to another adventure and seek the wisdom it offers. That is the truth of me. The joy I feel in that commitment has provided me with purpose, love, meaning, and excitement. This is what I share. This is what I care about. The book is part memoir with stories filled throughout, and part her tips about how she lived a happy life and lived an optimistic life, and the part that kindness and honesty and love plays into that. No one chooses the circumstances they are born into. I was born into a family culture of abuse. It took years to come to terms with that. And honestly, it's a lifetime's work that will always be ongoing. This book is meant to give you a glimpse into that lifetime. It's a guidebook to some of the lessons I've learned over time, and contains suggestions about how to put those lessons into practice in your own life. Every phase of life has lessons for me, and my hope is that what I've learned might help ease the way for other people. Even those fortunate enough not to be born into difficult situations experience trauma through their time on earth. But in learning from your life, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. There are situations that you can't control. All you can control is how you react to them. The lessons I share here come from my own life. Experience is the best teacher. And everyone learns from their own mistakes. But you can also learn from mine. Each chapter in this book is divided into 3 parts: a lesson, a practice, and a challenge. The lessons are stories from my life. The practices are behaviors I learned along the way, which I hope will be inspiring for you and help shape the way you think about your own reactions and responses. The challenges are exercises, often creative, to help you process your own life and experience, and to help you think of ways to amplify joy in your life. The book is meant to be fun, while the practice of joy, as I try to live it, is a serious philosophy. It's also a process of finding happiness and laughter in your life, and making these gifts a more central part of your days. I hope you will find the challenges interesting, thought-provoking, and fun as you bring a new lens to bear on your own experiences. It can feel next to impossible to get out of your own head when you are going through difficult times, but the universe is out there. These challenges are intended to shake you out of your routine and help you open to the possibilities around you. It's important to be able to let yourself play. All of these exercises are intended to help you understand yourself more deeply, and learning should be fun. She was all about fun. She wanted this book to be playful and interactive and not overly serious and not preachy, and just always finding the fun. I'm going to read you one of the memoirs that's a point in her life. And it's interesting because this, if you knew Anne, she was so big on signs from the universe. She would find signs in anything and everything. She would always say the mistake is in the messenger, like, which means that if something went wrong or didn't go as planned, there was a lesson in that. And she followed it and she believed it. And so this couple pages that I'm about to read you is why Anne listened to those signs and why she is an actress and not an architect. After 4 years on another world, I determined that I would never have real security and independence unless I pursued something normal that could be a career. I was accepted into Parsons School of Design to study architecture, my other passion. I was to begin attending the week after my contract playing Vicki Hudson and Marley Love on Another World was over. I had done over 600 episodes of television. You'd think that would have sunk in as something meaningful, perhaps a road to a destination. Not for me. I decided I needed to go back to school to prove myself. I am worthy of something. I decided I needed a degree of some sort, any sort. Every single person who had worked with me for 4 years was gobsmacked over my decision. Go to Hollywood was the mantra they were shouting, but it was lost on me. 2 weeks before my departure, my favorite producer handed me a novel on my way out the door after shooting all week. Put simply, I don't read novels. It isn't anything against the form. It's just a lot of very dense information to take in long blocks of type on the page, and my brain doesn't seem to want to process it that way. Scripts saved my life. They were written in short paragraphs. I could see them, understand them, and teleport them into my brain, which was necessary because since I was playing twins, I had up to 60 pages of dialogue a day. Half was one character, the other half the other. And as I've said, I was never allowed to read as a child. We had one book in the house. It was the Bible. I had to memorize verses every week. Other than that, it was me and my imagination. Now she makes me act in this book. Anne, what's this? A novel? Oh my, no. What novel? The novel was Willa Cather's O Pioneers. You'll like it, I promise. Me and pioneers? I doubt it. Later that same day, I sat at my kitchen table alone with my dog Sammy, as I almost always was on a weekend. I opened this novel Susan had promised I would like. I'd barely gotten past the title page when the phone rang. It was my agent. Sorry to bother you on a Saturday, but an opportunity has presented itself for you to play the best friend of Jessica Lange. Wait, what? I'm not acting anymore. I know, I get it, but it's Jessica Lange. There was one actress I could claim as an idol after seeing Tootsie. It was Jessica. So suddenly I was interested. It's shooting next week in Nebraska. It's a really good project, and you may want to consider reading it. I was waving the book in my face for air as she continued. It's called O Pioneers, and they're really interested in reading you. Are you effing kidding me? I stopped fanning my face. I looked at the title of the book in my hand, O Pioneers. If ever there was a sign, you can't make this up. Cut to a week later with me sitting on the bed of a Motel 6 in Nebraska, having spent the day on the set filming O Pioneers. As I was eating a cheeseburger and unwinding, I learned that I won an Emmy for playing the twins Vicki and Marley Love on Another World. I picked up the phone and called Joanne, my agent. Does this mean I'm supposed to be an actress? Yes, Anne, I think it does. That's the universe winking at you, at all of us, who chooses to engage and take flight. All we can do is smile and say, okay, I accept. Put simply, the rest is history, or her story, as I like to say. She also wrote poems. I'm going to read you one. Love is a practice. It is an art. Love is the seeking. Love is the start. Mistakes are teachers. Learning a must. Detours God's actions that lead us to trust. Common is yesterday. Lazy is stubborn. Life offers choices. Risk is forlorn. All knowing is farce. No one is all. That's where we depart, diverge from the call. It's ours to wonder, the spirit of quest. I offer a ponder, the door that opens, yes. Another way she helped me finish this book was she kept playing this damn song. And I don't know why. And then somebody texted me the song. Weird things like this happened. It was Spandau Ballet's Gold. So I kept listening to it, and I was trying to figure out a way to end a paragraph that didn't seem finished. And so I took the line from the song, and it is this. You have the power within. Now I'm laughing because I feel like I should be singing it, but I won't. You have the power within. Believe in your soul that you are indestructible. And that is so Anne. You have the power within. Believe in your soul that you are indestructible. You'll hear it when you hear that song. Anne wrote 20 commitments. She loved these commitments. She talked about them all the time. I'm just going to read you a couple of them because I really want to get to one in particular. So, for example, one is stop ignoring what you know. And that is so Anne. And again, think about it, like take something from this book. We all know what we know, right? And then we ignore it. So that was her message. Stop ignoring what you know. Risk looking further. That was so Anne. Risk looking further. Like push yourself, do more. And this is the one I'm trying to get to because I always had a thing with her. And I always wanted to rephrase it because it worried me as her PR person. And the funny thing is I think I changed it in the draft. But when the book came out, there it was. Anne was very against tolerating abuse and hate. She thought we tolerated it too much in this world. And so she wrote the commitment and stood behind it, build a community of zero tolerance, which I get what she means. But I get paranoid. Are people going to misinterpret that? Are they not going to understand that? And so it's funny because the more I saw it in print now, like it makes you think, like really think, like, yeah, we are too tolerant of certain things. And that's exactly what Anne did, was make you think, like really make you think. And so, yeah, build a community of zero tolerance. Let's not tolerate hate. Let's not tolerate abuse. And also, now that I've said that out loud, I feel better about number 3 of her commitments. All right. I'm going to read the end of a poem that she loved, but it's long, so I'm only going to read a portion of it. It's titled Juniper Sea. And it's the end poem of the book. Now is the time to flip the dime, state the old as unfun, demand it undone, and arrive at the place of joining God's grace, each and every one deserving its taste. I say no thanks to the walls that have been built around, through towers of Babel and endless mind scrabble, deceiving the self by teaching something else. Goodbye, sin. Hello, grin. Kick the lie away as of this day. The day I say I am here to stay, and no one or some can convince me any other way. I'll meet you where the juniper meets the sea, and evermore choose to be free. You plus me equals we. And that was something big for Anne. She thought that together we were more, which is why our podcast is Better Together. This book reminds us that living in truth gives you peace and peace fosters kindness. So I'd like Anne in this book to really remind us to be free and be you and let others be the same. And I think since there's so many people gathered here in this room, that Anne would want us to make something of it. So how about in honor of Anne, and this just, she works in mysterious ways here, in honor of her, that we all this week do one act of kindness. Doesn't matter how big or small. Anne would always say, let it ripple and triple. And let's do that. Let's do that for her. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. The support means the world to me. I know to her kids. It's a real tide turning for her, and I appreciate you all being a part of that. I think that Anne's story needs to be told in the right way by people who understand her, by people who read her book and understand her more deeply. And I know that she would want everybody to take this book and really, really use it to make your life better, to make you kinder, to embrace honesty, to embrace all different types of people, and let them be, and celebrate diversity and difference and uniqueness without judgment. It's like the time for judgment is just so over. Like, it's just enough. And, it's like, thank you. Anne has been judged enough in her life, and that ends now. That ends now. And from this moment on, she is going to be respected and admired and revered for the incredible human being that she was, and the incredible gifts that she gave everybody who knew her, and the lessons that she taught us, and the lessons that she leaves behind in this book. And I celebrate her. I honor her. I will live fearlessly for her, which is something that she taught me how to do recently. But you know what? If you're kind, if you're honest, if you live in joy, what is there to be afraid of? There is no fear, So just, I would say it on the podcast all the time. I'm just going to say it now. Just don't be a dick, right? And there is no fear. There is no fear if you live as a good human being. And that's how I'm going to honor Anne. And I hope you all do too, because that is exactly what she would want. And that is her definition of ripple and triple. So please, ripple and triple, kindness, honesty, and non-judgment for Anne Heche. She deserves it.